football on YouTube. You know what? Is it me or do like I really want Alabama to beat Ole Miss? Honestly, like thumbs up if you agree. Hit the thumbs up on this video, like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. That was Coach Saban's press conference today on Wednesday night, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Alabama versus Ole Miss, Saturday, September 23rd, right here at beautiful Bryant-Denny Stadium. TV, CBS, Alabama favored by 7. Kiffin has been trolling all week long, and the trolls get better and better and better, right? And I think you're poking the bear, and he continues to poke the bear or continues to poke the goat. And I kind of hope that Nick Saban fires back with the play on the field. Look, I really feel that with Coach Saban naming a starting quarterback, that is going to alleviate so much pressure on this team. I think that now that they know that Jalen Milroe is the guy who's already a leader on the team, that they can go out and they can play and perform at a high level. I think this team, honestly, we haven't seen, like, let's erase what we just saw, right? Like, this is a new start. It's a new day, just like tomorrow's a new day, right? This weekend is a whole new slate. A whole new season starts in SEC play. I don't want to remember those first couple of games, to be honest. And if you do, like those were some good learning points. But now we know who the quarterback is. Coach Saban said today that the cake is baked. I don't know what I mean. Look, so we get our first chance to bite the new cake on Saturday. The past does not dictate the future. I believe that Jalen Milroe provides this team the best opportunity to win. If you agree, hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for joining me. Let me know where you're coming from inside the comment box. What's up, Jim? I see you. Chad, yeah. Kiffin is the biggest troll. And what's so amazing is he trolls and then he follows up with like, Coach Saban is the greatest. I'm so thankful for him, taking a chance on him. And then the next thing is it's almost like this, like, it's a really schizophrenic approach, right? Because in the next thing, he's tweeting castles crumbling, right? Like, I get it. You're having fun, but you're all like, people see it. And look, I know that people in Alabama are pissed off at him, that don't like him, that despise him and despise that approach. I get it. It's like, Coach Saban said today, he's like, I don't really have a reaction to it. And that's really the approach that you have to have in that mindset. But everybody else sees it. Can you imagine how eager Alabama's social media team will be? And we miss you, Paul Tyson. What's up? What's the base? I appreciate you coming in here. Jeremiah Taylor, what's up? Goat versus the troll. Yeah, that's a good title for this game. JG, what's up? I see you in the comment box. Can you imagine Alabama's social media team just waiting? They probably have a think tank of guys just coming up with what they are going to title their image after Alabama beats Ole Miss, right? Okay, let's jump into the call line is open. I'm gonna leave it at the bottom of the screen. 205-850-1994. That is the call line number. Call in tonight. Tell me, I want to know the keys to the game to beat Ole Miss. I want to get your take on Kiffin. I want to go what we know about this team going in. It's a new start. And with that said, we start out with a 256, and let's do it right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from? You're batting leadoff spot, Boots. I appreciate you calling in, getting the party started, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're first to go, man. So what's up? Go ahead. You know what? Give me 1 second. I know. Hold on 1 second, because people can't hear you. I need to check off. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, one thing is everybody needs to come together this weekend. You know, when Bama fans come together and get behind the team, and all they got to do is get behind the team, and we're gonna ride mill road to a championship. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And look, if we can get them linemen to block, and if they just put them on them simple plays, because there ain't much they can run out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I really think that defensively we all right. You know, we played Texas tooth and nail for 3 quarters, and then they just give out. You know. So actually, we need the guys behind the starter to, step up in the roles right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just believe that if they'll get together and you know Brian Denny rock now. I don't know if you, Brian Denny would almost come off the hinges down there. Yeah, so they're gonna have to look. The fans are gonna have to be in it, and then we're gonna have to stop the run. We can't let them slip that run up, and that boy gonna run the ball. Jackson Dart gonna run. So we need to pop him. Don't be letting him run. Pop him. See, I don't understand. And the main thing, Kyle, is this here, and I think it's on everybody's mind. There's two things down there that got to change. One thing is the strength coach. It just ain't getting the job done. Period. That's that's like Saban. When Saban says you ain't getting the job done, you got because they're not as strong as they should be. You know what I'm saying? They should be a lot stronger. Okay. And the number two thing is quit trying to cover 90% of the time. And if they was blitz 6 and 7, we get to the quarterback. They ain't getting that with 2 and 3 and 4. So that would need to blitz more. Period. If they ain't trying to do that, I just don't see giving up big chunks. You're gonna give up big chunks if you ain't trying to knock nobody's head off. So I'm gonna hang up, Kyle. I sure appreciate you. And now I'm kind of old school, so I'm gonna find out how to fund this thing since you got a really good show. I watch Stephen A. sometimes, and never locked on Bama. That ain't saying that bad. I ain't saying that bad with them old boys, but this show right here is where everybody, the people that call in that really know football. They know football. They kind of know what football is. That's why the majority rule is pulling for Miro to go ahead and win this thing. Because without him, we're the lost cause. Ain't no need. If they get behind him, and they'll pull for him, we'll look. All it takes is one win. Once we get this one up on our belt, you'll see. You know what they call it, roll tide, don't you? We're gonna start rolling, Kyle.
Yep.
You hear me?
Yep.
All right. I'll hang up, Kyle, and I sure appreciate your show. And I need to start learn. I'm gonna have my wife to show me how to do that, how to subscribe and I like to donate because I really think I appreciate you having this show. This is a lot of football worthy men that call in here, that know about football. So that's the main thing. See, on them other shows, they don't know what they're talking about. So that's why I'm on this show.
Well,
so
thank you, Bootsy. I appreciate the comments, man, and call in anytime. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, be good, Kyle.
All right, see you, buddy. That was Bootsy calling in from Lake Gunnersville. What's up? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys coming to the show and, supporting the channel and just talking Alabama football with me. Honestly, this is a pleasure to do. And I think when you look to this game, there's a lot that goes into it because it's a new season, in my opinion. You have Ole Miss, who would probably be 2-1. 100% they'd be 2-1 if they played Alabama's schedule. Neither of these teams was going to beat Texas. Ole Miss was not going to beat Texas as well. The thing when I spoke with Neil McCready of Rebel Grove yesterday, he said that Ole Miss a little bit banged up on the offensive side. Now, they do have some components that can move the football, and I think they're ranked number 4 or whatever on the offensive side. I do feel that Lane Kiffin is coming in, licking his chops, thinking that he can beat Alabama. With that said, call me crazy, I believe in this defense. I think the defense just hasn't had the right strategy early on in the season. And I kind of go back to what Bootsy said. By the way, call line is open 205-850-1994, is the fact that if Alabama starts to send more heat, more pressure, that the defense can really turn it up a little bit more. Maybe that is going to change. And maybe that's kind of what Lane Kiffin was alluding to. Now, look, Kiffin believes that T-Rob is calling the defense. Who cares? It doesn't matter who's calling the defense. What matters is that Alabama is calling the right defense to get after the quarterback. Now, Dart is going to be a quarterback that is very shifty, that is a playmaker. Alabama faced another quarterback like that just this past week when they played South Florida, right? The guy was a baller, absolutely. Alabama did do a good job for the most part tackling in open space, and they've done that. But I think if there are situations where Alabama needs to get heat on the quarterback, that needs to be priority number 1. And with that said, the secondary needs to come up and make some plays. That interception from Malachi Moore, that was pretty much an easy interception for him. But creating turnovers is something that this team has to do, and they have to steal the momentum early in this game to basically shut Lane Kiffin up on the offensive side. Everybody knows he's a great offensive mind, but if Alabama's defense can come with it and set the tempo, and Jalen Milroe can come in and have that team behind him, Alabama is going to beat Ole Miss. And I think that is going to catapult this team and give this team a lot of momentum going on to these next couple of weeks because they're going to need it. It's a gauntlet. And as I said before, we got our next caller in at 419. We'll take it in just a second. I think that if Alabama is able to get some momentum from this game, that it could catapult this team to the direction that they want to head. This team is much better than we've seen through these first 2 games of the season. I think everybody would agree with that. My biggest concerns, not necessarily the quarterback play, because I think that Jalen Milroe has enough playmaking ability to win games. It might not be statistically what we're used to as fans, but he's going to win games because of his playmaking ability. But the biggest question mark that I have is what the hell is going to happen on the left tackle? Like, how are you going to fix that? And I don't know if they can. Surely the brilliant minds within the coaching staff are scratching their heads to try to figure this out. Because if you can figure that out, the offense has a better opportunity to put a lot of points on the board. Eliminate turnovers on the offensive side. Create turnovers on the defensive side. So, and Chad saying roll Milroe out. Look, use his ability. Cater to his playing style. Cater to the fact that he's the fastest player on the field. All right, we go to our next caller. It's a 419. Let's get it. Hey, what's up? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? This is Deshaun from Ohio once again.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, man. So we got a quarterback. The cake is baked. We're going into SEC play with a fresh cake. What are you thinking, man?
I think we're going to be fine now that we establish who our guy's going to be. So now we don't have to worry about our quarterback have to play with, worried about people breathing down his back. Like, if I do something wrong, they're going to pull me. He can relax and just play his game. So I'm fine with that. And the keys for us to win in this next game, we're just going to have to get to the quarterback. We're going to have to get home, man. We playing too much soft coverage defense. I don't know what's going on. We don't blitz enough. And we just need to use Jalen Milroe's leg, like you said. We need to use them like how we did with Jalen Hurts. Get them on the run, roll them out. A lot of quarterback design runs. We need to see it. We don't need to see him trying to be like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. That's not what he is. He's an athlete. That's it for me, Kyle.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate the support. And like I said, I'll answer on the other side, Deshaun. Thanks for calling in from Ohio, man. Always appreciate your support. Call into the show, 205-850-1994 is the call-in number. I appreciate you guys calling in and, talking football with me. Yeah, I think it comes down to this. Like, Hattie Mae, what's up? From the B-Ham. I know where you're coming from. Says, play your game. Play the game. I mean, I think that you cater to Jalen Milroe's style and you just let him go out and you have him be the athlete that he is. And I think that with the team now knowing that he is the guy, that is going to alleviate a lot of the pressure. Look, I know that he is one of the main leaders on this team. You talk about where is the leadership. People follow Jalen Milroe. They want him to be the guy. And I think Saban's approach has to be this. You ride or die right now with Milroe. None of this going in and out and seeing if this. No, Milroe plays this game entirely. And if he is not the guy and if they lose, then you go back to the drawing board. And then the next week you come out with Ty Simpson and that is the guy that you go with. But right now, you're going into this game, you let Milroe play this entire game and you're go out and win this to the best of your abilities. Period. And this team, I think, will respect that. Let's think about this. Nobody likes waffling. It's this guy, that guy. No, this is the guy we're going to roll with, period. And you go out and you roll with that guy. The cake should always be baked. We've always had a quarterback here at Alabama that has been the guy. This has been the first year where we waffled, right? Back and forth, and it's created a lack of identity for the offense, 100%. So now we know what is going to happen Saturday. We all of us know the type of team that is going to go out there on Saturday. But before that, when you're like, oh, I don't know which quarterback's going to be and this and that, the team doesn't either. They're like, we have to, differentiate our playing style based on the quarterback that is going to be leading this team. Now they know, look, it's Milroe. Play breaks down, dude can bust out a run. If he throws an interception or whatever, we know that he has the ability to hit the deep ball. He is one of the most electrifying players in college football. Everybody knows that, including Lane Kiffin. All right, our next caller is a 662. Let's take it. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
This is Andrew Kennedy calling out of Mississippi. I just want to know what has happened to the coaching on the sidelines. Tommy Reed's up in the press box again. And I thought we had better success, when they was offense coordinators and defense coordinators on the sideline coaching myself.
What's up, Andrew? I appreciate you calling in. You know what? I think somebody came up with this. I didn't come up with this, so I can't take credit for this, but I do agree with this. Remember the old Saban that would just like rip your ass on the sideline? And he would go after like his defensive coordinator, not so much the OC. He'd leave those at the airport, but he would really get after these coaches. And I don't know, somebody was like, they're up in the box because they don't want to be yelled at on national TV. Does it make a difference for your defensive coordinator to be up in the box or your offensive coordinator? Maybe so on the offense, because you can see the field better. I know I can. But I feel like on the defensive side, you need to be with your guys. You need to be in there. You need like a critical third down. The players need to be able to go over and look at the alpha male of the defense. The defensive alpha male is not only your signal caller, right? Or your outside edge rusher like Dallas Turner, Deontay Lawson, but they need to be able to look over in Kevin Still's eyes and you see him pissed off and him like, get these guys. You can't look up to the box to see him. Kind of takes it away. So then by default, it becomes somebody else, right? Probably T-Rob who's down there. On the offensive side, look, nobody has really been a fan of the offensive play calling thus far. It's been an early sample size, but it's been really vanilla. It hasn't been exciting. I don't think he's utilized a lot of these players the way that he could. I get it. We're going back and forth from all these quarterbacks or whatever, but I think that, you need to get the football out to the playmakers. Who are the playmakers on this team? Do you really want me to tell you? I don't even coach on the team, and I know who needs to get the football. His name's Isaiah Bond. Fastest player on the team. Speed kills. When has speed not been a factor in college football? How can you get him the football? How can you get Malik Benson the football? Right? Like, those are the things that Tommy Rees needs to do. I get it. You need to, feed some other guys or whatever, get the running game established. But like, speed kills. Figure out a way to get speed moving on the team. Like, they have it. This might be one of the fastest wide receiving units that Alabama has had, and they are not using the wide receivers. Figure out a way to do it. Right? Or you hire Andrew from Georgia, one of the guys who called in recently and was like, had a great breakdown of, offensive schemes. What else you got, Andrew? I appreciate the call, by the way.
Well, with that, man, I was just wanting to get that off, and but with that, man, I'll let you get on with it.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Roll
Thank
Tide,
you.
brother.
Roll Tide to you too, man. Calling in from Mississippi. Sir. Yeah. The 662 will be out in Stark Vegas next week. What's up, Gabe? I see you inside the comment box. Thank you so much. Hey, guess what? This just in. So I have to apply for media credentials every single week. Okay. It's like this huge process. And I go to the games. I live in Tuscaloosa. I go to the Saban press conferences and I'm there covering the team. Okay. So I applied the other day and I had to knock out all my stuff. So guess who turned me down? All right. And I'm still trying to ask if there's room for me to be there. Auburn turned me down. So I guess I'm not going to the game as of right now. So if you got connections to Auburn athletics, hit them up. Tell them your boy does professional work. Look, I'm dressed up. My shirt is even tucked in and I am not, I can't go to the game. So I might be watching. You guys want to have a watch party at my crib? You guys come over. We'll have the post-game show here at the house, right? All right. Call line is open, man. Let's call in. 205-850-1994 is the call line number. Yeah, no Iron Bowl for you, Seinfeld. I get you. I believe in this team. I do. Call me crazy. I just think that the sky hasn't fallen. Look, and you want to know a reason that the sky hasn't fallen, even though my earpiece just fell out, is the fact that Sports Illustrated is building a luxury hotel in Tuscaloosa. Did you see that? It's going to be like this. It's a sports luxury hotel. Hey, honey, what do you want to do? It's 125 degrees in Tuscaloosa. Let's go to Tuscaloosa and chill, right? I think that's amazing. That's going to be their first like game day atmosphere type hotel or resort. I saw it today. Even the mayor, Maddox, tweeted about it. Said that it's a great opportunity for Tuscaloosa. Now we have a resort coming to town right by the bomb hours. Eat your wings and chill poolside here in beautiful Tuscaloosa. I think that the reason I believe in this team is because we haven't seen the full capacity of this team. We haven't seen much of this team yet. 205-850-1994. Running game got going a little bit. That was exciting. Beast at the running backs. Coach Saban was asked about, more of the running backs. Feed all of them. Feed every single running back. Get these guys in. But the biggest thing has to be protecting the quarterback. The left tackle position, that it scares me. Like if you guys follow me on Twitter, Bama YouTube, I don't tweet out a lot. I don't tweet out every single thought that comes into my mind. But I did tweet out when Ty Simpson got sacked, and I was scared because the way that his head whipped back, I mean, thank goodness he had a back plate on, right? Yeah. See, what's the basis, right? Like everything is going right. Okay. I was just scared for him. So, I mean, good thing Jalen is a right-handed, like everything has to go right. You have to facilitate right. All right. We got to call in. It's 334. Let's start it right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Daniel Flowers calling from Clear, Alabama.
What's up? I appreciate you joining the show, man. Welcome, and what's on your mind?
Man, I'm really adamant on the Facebook group, because I know Alabama have a Facebook group. Mm-hmm. Probably got over 100-some thousand members. Just all the debate being about who should be the quarterback. I stated pretty much after the Texas game, you can't put all the blame on the quarterback, because I saw the O-line. I saw the defense playing bad. I even saw running backs, they're looking to run outside all the time. It's like they have a hole and they're easy to jump to the outside. So I was like, that's a bad game by everybody. So I was expecting Miro to start quarterback the second game as well. But when I seen Button was starting, I'm like, oh my God. I said, I listened to all the talk shows, and the Air pretty much was saying that Ty Simpson was going to be the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. And when I saw that it was Buckner, I'm like, oh, Bama pretty much know they're going to beat South Florida. They're trying to try this Buckner kid out because, I just feel like I'm a coach too myself. Mm-hmm. Sometimes alumni people and money people, they kind of have a say in certain things. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's honest how Buckner started. Buckner would never play if it weren't for that. And again, I always said Miro was the best quarterback on the roster. I ain't say the best ever been Alabama, but he's the best on the roster. After with time and if Reese make the offense for him, he'll be better. But I don't put all the blame on Reese. I put some of that on Nick Saban. Because Reese only allowed to do what Coach Saban allowed him to do. Again, I was a head football coach 14 years in the high school level. They said football is coached the same way and where it goes. I feel like they got to unleash the dragon. Miro is an athletic quarterback. He put me in the mindset of the Marshall kid that played at Auburn back in 14 and 13. He throws the deep ball very well. His intermediate passes is not that way because he's thinking to run so much. I feel like if they let him throw the deep ball, use him in the running game, he'll be a better quarterback. Again, he's not Bryce Young. And I think a lot of people in the group was like, well, Bryce Young did this. I'm like, Miro can be better than Bryce Young. He's a 6'3", 225-pound guy that run a 4.5 40. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of teams in college football would love to have a quarterback that can run like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, use his weapon. He's a weapon. Because I'm a defensive coordinator myself. I hate facing a quarterback that can run.
Yeah.
Because you can't account for him, especially when you're man-to-man. Like, Bama need to use that. Stop trying to make Milroe a pocket passer. Unleash him. Allow him to run and do what he can do.
Yes. Daniel, I love that. And I was just talking to somebody about this. Remember on Troy when they couldn't contain Achilles, right? Because he wouldn't like fight for the king. And you know what they said? They were like, you don't need to control him. You need to unleash him. Right? Like Tommy Rees, like, I don't know if you're trying to control him. You need to unleash him. And you're right. As a defensive coordinator, which you just said you are, think about Pete Golding. Who did Pete Golding coach for last year? He coached for Alabama. And guess who was the scout team quarterback last year? Jalen Milroe, right?
Milroe.
Like, okay, so he understands what Milroe brings to the table. He understands where his weaknesses are, and he understands his strengths, right? And same thing for Alabama. We know about Pete Golding, just like, so Coach Saban understands what Pete Golding is going to do in certain tendencies. But the one thing that you can't account for is his playmaking ability that Milroe has. And I think that's where, this game comes down to is Milroe's playmaking ability. And if you are able to unleash him in the correct way and you are able to distribute the football to your playmakers, then it doesn't have to be a complex offense. And nobody in that's not a knock against anybody's intelligence. It's just like Alabama has speed. And there's creative ways to get speed the football. And there's a creative way to get everybody the football. I harp about this every single time. Go watch the 49ers. The 49ers have George Kittle. They have Deebo Samuel. They have Brandon Ayuk. They have CMC, right? And guess what? They get the football to every one of those guys. There's not a time where you don't see Kittle without getting a pass. So, yeah, I get it. Nobody played against South Florida, and maybe that was for design or whatever. But figure out a way to get your best players the ball. There's so many players on that team that need to eat. What else you got, Daniel?
Yeah, my thing was after the game, they tested the game. He threw the picks. I watched NFL football like that Sunday, that Monday, because, I'm a diehard Alabama fan. My wife graduated from Alabama. I played football at Alabama State. And I was looking at the Sunday night game. I think it was the Cowboys and the Giants. These are professional football players. The quarterback for the New York Giants was sacked 7 times, pressured 32 times. He had 3 interceptions. I'm like, nobody ain't calling for his job. I mean, he threw 3 picks, was sacked the same way Milroe was. Now, I watched the other game was the Bengals and the Browns. Joe Burrow had 84 yards passing, 14 to 31. Now, one person called for his job with 3 interceptions. I'm like, Milroe is a college football player. That's his 3rd game starting. Ain't nobody in this world can say his first year on their job, it was perfect. And I was like, why in the world these Alabama fans are complaining? I'm like, the kid is young. Look at the bright stuff he done. I always live by the statement is people will scream out your failures, will whisper your successes.
Yeah.
Take back them penalties. Milroe would have counted for 5 touchdowns that game.
Yeah.
Nobody really want to talk about that. I don't think they want to talk about his failures because, again, it's Alabama again. Milroe's not the typical quarterback that Alabama normally play with. They say he's not that bright. He can't read coverages.
Yeah.
It's like the typical stuff they'll say about Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes type guys. Nothing, you got to overlook that. Look at the good things he can do. He only doing what the coach tell him to do. At times in that Texas game, when he took sacks, you could tell he was told, stay in that pocket and throw that football. That is the same thing that Justin Fields was complaining about.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like don't handcuff. Don't handcuff. Take the handcuffs off.
Yes. If he's going to be your quarterback, let him play like he playing backyard football. And I guarantee you the offense going to eat because now you can't run man-to-man against them. Because with a quarterback that can run, you have to run zone. So you have to keep eyes on them. Because if you run man, if them D linemen don't hold their levels, they don't mush rush the right way, Milroe can get out of there. There's a 50-yard touchdown waiting to happen. He's a big guy. He's hard to bring down.
Yeah.
I'm like Tommy Rees. I don't think he's used to having these type of weapons to deal with in Alabama. Because Notre Dame, he didn't have these type of athletes. He didn't have them. And I think, I don't blame it on him. I tell people all the time, it's not Tommy Rees. is what Saban is handcuffing him to do. My thing, if you going to hire the man to do a job, let the man do the job. I get Tamarisha smart. Cause Northwestern want him as the head football coach after the year. They want him. The guy is smart, but he only can do what he is allowed to do. And by Nick Saban being a head coach, and I've been a head coach for a while, and I used to tell my OC and my DC what to do. You don't do this, don't do that. So he can't allow it. And I think now Nick Saban says the quarterback competition is over with. He gonna allow Reese to take the handcuffs off and let Milroe play.
Yep. Hey, Daniel, I got to get to my next caller, man, but I appreciate you calling in, man. Good context. I love the fact that you're a DC. Stay safe, man. Stay blessed, and we'll catch up with you next time.
Thank you, man.
All right, man. That was Daniel calling in from Clara. Good call. Appreciate it. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I'm coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Coach Saban held his Wednesday night press conference, and we got a super chat coming in here. Well, actually, let me go around the table real quick. JG, I appreciate you very much for the super sticker, $10 spot. Gabe with $4.99, I really thank you. And then Chad with the question, do you have injury, sick player update at practice? We need everyone back 100%. And gelling before this 7-game gauntlet. Yeah, so Coach Saban said that Tyler Booker has been practicing, and the same thing with Jaheim Otis. Now, when I was on the field against South Florida before in pregame, Otis was walking with the boot, and I think he's going to be okay. He said that those guys were practicing this week. Coach Saban said following the game that Kendrick Law was sick, really sick, he said. So he didn't even make the trip to Tampa, but I would assume that he's good coming this week. So there's kind of your injury report. Haven't had another update on Emmanuel Henderson. I think there's a lot of people that have asked about Emmanuel Henderson's health, but earlier this season, Coach Saban said that he has a hip injury and, still kind of waiting an update on that. So other than that, I feel like Alabama's been pretty healthy, thankfully. You had those two, bumps or whatever against, early on with Jalen Key and Malachi, but those guys have been healthy. And I'm curious to see how Jalen Key continues to progress, because when I saw him last week, that brace seemed to be prohibiting like his full motion running, but I don't think it's going to impact him thus far, kind of going into the rest of the season. But that he's somebody that I am watching, because that brace, I just didn't like how he was moving. Call line is open, 205-850-1994 is the call line number. We got two callers in, a 205 and a 225. I'll get to you guys in just a second. Pete Golding, Lane Kiffin coming back to Tuscaloosa. Alabama versus Ole Miss, Saturday, September 23rd. 2:30 kick, TV, CBS. Alabama favored by 7. I feel that this team, we haven't even seen, any sort of peak from this team. That's why I'm still so excited to see what happens. Like, I haven't thrown on the towel on this team. I'm still excited about this team. This team gets some momentum. They have the defense to win a lot of games. It might not be pretty. And that's the thing. Is like Alabama fans aren't used to being in street fights. I get it. Coach Saban has put that bar so high, right? So it's going to be exciting. Probably more exciting than you're accustomed to. That's a good thing. Just sit back. I mean, they got the athletes to do it. And I think they got the defense to do it, most importantly. Fix the offensive line or try to. Put some duct tape over there on the left side and just survive in advance. Because that's kind of what this season is right now. Survive in advance. It's not even looking at Stark Vegas. Like, it's just survive in advance. Like, beat up Lane, get that out of your way, and then take on Mississippi State. Survive in advance. Nothing wrong with that. Just keep winning. Just got to win. 205, let's do it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? Uncle Charles, man. What's happening?
Uncle Charles, I appreciate you joining the show, man. What's on your mind? Take it away.
Okay, I'm going to let everybody know something, that Alabama Nation knows something. Let me tell y'all something. We must have forgot what happened to Texas in the national championship. We whooped they behind, and we made their quarterback quit. You know how he quit? Because his daddy came out the stands and said, don't you throw another ball. You're not going to mess up our summer home in the summer. And he quit. Then we beat Texas last year by 1 point. Did anybody say anything about that? No. Why? Because we're supposed to beat them. Let me explain something to you. So a little rain don't fail. A little sprinkle of rain don't fall on us. But that don't mean you get up on the building and jump. Hey, we got games to still play. Let me explain some to you. Do you realize who we are? We set the standard in national championships. But nobody got anything to say about that. Nobody is feeling sorry for us. Nobody's feeling sorry for us. Because while we was on the national stage playing in a national championship, they sat in front of the TV hoping that we'll lose and was jealous. See, jealousy is just as cruel as the grave. That's what it is. Let me tell you something. You don't mess with Alabama. And I want some T-shirts made for anybody want to make them and put on the back of it, we still Bama. Let me show you why you don't mess with us. In India, they have a long road. It was a guy on a little funky little bike, I don't know, but he's seen a trail of elephants. The mama, the daddy, the two babies in the back. So I guess he decided, because he was far off from them, he gonna throw some rocks at them. And that female, that mama elephant, didn't even break stride. She took right off after it. And he tried to run, but he couldn't run because he had some flip-flops on. And she caught up to him, knocked him up in 50 feet up in the air, and he rolled in the grass looking like some balled up chewing gum. This is what's supposed to happen because you don't mess with an elephant. This is what you don't do. Let's support our team. Let's get behind Nick Saban. Come on, I'll tell you something. Nick Saban is very frustrated. I mean, I know Nick Saban is a white coach, but he turned pink. He's looking like the Pink Panther after that game. And I'm going to tell you that right now. Let me tell you something. Let's support our team. Let's support Jalen. Let's get behind our team, and let's get these games. That's when we take it one day at a time. Let me tell you something. Things don't stay the same. You got children, they're babies. They grow up to young men and women, and then they grow up to be young adults, and then they move out of the house. Things happen. This is where it's supposed to go. It's life. But if you think that we're going to lay there and let people stomp on us, you got another thing coming. On that trail, in closing, on that trail, after she did what she had to do to that guy on that bike, she got back in line with the family, and they went up to a pond, and she made a sound. And you know what that sound was? Y'all get in that pond and take a bath. And they got in that pond and took a bath while they was searching for food. See, you don't mess with us. Don't think that we are dumb because we're in the South and we can't talk and we can't do that.
Uncle Charles.
You know, man, beat Mississippi State and let's go Alabama.
Uncle Charles, man, I love when you call. I love the intensity, man. Anything else while I got you on the line?
Roll Tide, baby. That's all I can say.
Roll Tide to you, Uncle Charles. I appreciate it, man. It's almost like my weekly sermon when Uncle Charles calls in, man. I love it. I think I just got disconnected. Hang tight real quick. Just a small technical difficulty. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I got a 225, a 601, and a 251 inside the call queue. Get to you guys in just a second. I think Uncle Charles is right. And here's one of the things that I've kind of noticed throughout this season, and I hope that it changes, is I feel that there's been a lot of division between fans. And I think kind of the waffling of the quarterback situation has created that. When I think that in the past, I've seen more fan continuity. And I hope that that comes back. And I hope that the fans do support this team because this team still has a long season in front of them. And I get it. There has been a lot of frustrating moments early on in the season. But sometimes the frustrating moments that happen early on make you a better team. That's why I think, that maybe we should reserve our reservations on this team until we really have a larger sample size. Look, they've still won the games outside of Texas. This is 0-0. This is a pivotal game against Ole Miss. You win this game and you do things clearly and correctly, you gain a lot of momentum from a win over Ole Miss. And maybe someone said on Twitter, they were like, maybe Lane Kiffin is trying to wake up Alabama. Maybe he's trying to save Coach Saban like Coach Saban saved him. I was like, wow, that is that's deep what if like Saban is, what if Kiffin is trying to like poke him to get things going? I don't know, whatever it is, but I hope the fans do come together because look, this team, there's so much talent on this team. And I think there's just one click away for things start to really kind of transpire with this team. They're 13th in the country. Laying in the weeds, you wanted that? You got it. Is Wolford in the hot seat? I think everybody's in the hot seat right now. We go back to the phone lines. 225, let's get it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, this is Booker from Baton Rouge.
Thanks for calling in, Booker. I appreciate the call. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Take it away.
All right. I was thinking about this upcoming weekend, and and not just the Alabama Ole Miss game, but this is this is going to be one of the biggest weekends in the season. It's just full of marquee games, and I think with the way that Alabama played against Texas, and with the conference opener and everything, I believe that this is going to tell us what we have with Tommy Reeves. Kevin Steele is decorated. Kevin Steele is proven. Tommy Reeves is not, and him not being proven goes back to Notre Dame. He was not a fan favorite there. His offenses didn't put up big numbers there. Now the rap was that they never got the right quarterback. Brian Kelly. People were giving him a pass, I think, because he's young. But that being young isn't gonna that ain't gonna wash at Alabama. And I think that if his game plan is not tailored to Milroe's strengths, I think we'll start to see, we had the wrong guy at offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. And I think, I've been, holding off on criticizing Tommy Reeves. Now when he was initially hired, I did act out emotionally, but I calmed down and I said, well, I'm gonna see where this goes. I'm gonna give him a fair shot. And but if things don't look good this Saturday, I think that's really gonna be a telltale sign. And I also say, this came on my mind because I follow, quite a few, YouTube, college football shows, and the Notre Dame one, it's one with a guy who was a quarterback at Notre Dame under Brian Kelly, black guy. I can't think of his name. He has a Muslim name, but these guys are not. They're not sad that Tommy Reeves is gone. They feel that the guy that they have who has replaced him is a few notches above schematically. Now they do have a better quarterback than what Tommy Reeves ever had at Notre Dame. But you can see if they are you can see if an OC is good at scheming guys open. And they say that this guy that they have, because I think this guy was like the offensive line or the tight ends coach, or maybe both, before when Reeves was there. And I just think that I'm really I'm hoping for the best, but I don't know,
Let me interject right here, Booker, because I think you you have a good point right here. Now, let me ask everybody, and I just came up with this right now when you were talking. Okay, look, let me ask everybody in the comment box. Listen up. Was the stage for Tyler Booker too large for him? Was it? Yes or no? Against even South Florida, was the stage too large for him? Did he look kind of shocked? Did he look like his eyes were wide open? Yes or no? Booker, what do you think? Yes or no? Was it stage two for Tyler Booker? Yeah, Buckner. I'm sorry, Buckner. Tyler Buckner. Was the stage too large for Tyler Buckner?
Yeah.
Because what I'm getting at is is the stage too large for Tommy Rees, right? Like they both came from Notre Dame. Like there's a big difference between coaching at Notre Dame and coaching at Alabama, especially with this offense with many guys to eat. That's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of got some mixed reactions inside the comment box. So, and you're right. Like Bill is saying it shouldn't be, and I agree with that. Let me ask you guys this too, and you guys can go back. I mean, you guys followed this as much as I do. Who was Alabama's first choice as the offensive coordinator? Was it Tommy Rees? Yes or no? I don't think it was, right? So, look, he's young, and someone else said in the comment box, and I think, it's probably, this is a small sample size. And how would the offense be if Alabama did have a better offensive line? Because the offensive line is killing all of these quarterbacks. The quarterbacks are making bad decisions. Like, that was a bad decision by two of them by Milroe, 100%. That should not have happened. I don't even think that's on the offensive line. But, like, what's happening to poor Ty Simpson against South Florida, that shouldn't be happening either. Like, he should have been able to, take care of that game without, getting potentially almost injured in that game. Sacked 5 times. It's unacceptable. So, no, I get it, Booker. I'm going to move to my next call, but I think you bring up a great point about Tommy Rees, and I want to continue to ask in the comment box what people think about Alabama's offense, because you're right. Like, Kevin Steele is proven. Rees is definitely not, but he does have an opportunity to get there. And it starts this coming Saturday against one of the best on the offensive side in Lane Kiffin. Booker, thanks for calling in from Baton Rouge, man.
You're welcome.
Last time I went to Baton Rouge, that tailgate that LSU has, fire, unbelievable. The tailgate goes for miles, best food, such a cool campus too. Stadium definitely loud. All right, 601. Let's just jump right into it. All right, what's up? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
How's it going, Kyle? It's Jay from Pensacola.
What's up, Jay? I appreciate it, man. I hope you're being safe on the road, man. Take it away. Welcome to the show. Jay from Pensacola. Go ahead.
So I just got a few things about Tommy Rees. So why did Bill O'Brien want him? I mean, if he's not a fit for SEC competition, why did Bill O'Brien want him? I mean, I'm not taking up for him, but it's just a question. Like, and then, if I'm not mistaken, Tom Rees is the quarterback coach, correct?
Yes, he's the quarterback's coach as well. Mm-hmm.
So it was an interview. He was, when they were doing the interview at the beginning of the season. He said that somebody asked him if he can go back and play, what position would you play? Mm-hmm. And I forgot what he said. He said
offensive line.
Yeah, offensive line, because he said he felt like he was good as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's scary.
In my head, I'm thinking, that's my point right there. That's my point. Like, why would you hire somebody who said he wasn't good as a quarterback coach to come coach our quarterbacks? What was the point?
Yeah.
He still got a lot to go, but I mean, if he said he wasn't good, then what makes you think he gonna coach a quarterback?
Good point, Jay. I like that. I see where you're going, man, because no one really hyped that up, but because they were so they loved kind of his like attitude and his grit that he had, but nobody said anything about those comments, and maybe that was kind of foreshadowing the early season play of the quarterbacks. But what else you got, Jay?
Tyler Booker, I don't feel like he's ready for the SEC play. Ty Simpson, he didn't do as I thought he would, but like you said, the offensive line, it's just not there. I mean, that could be hard for any quarterback. It could be hard for Bryce Young, especially Bryce Young. That could be hard for him. But without protection, the quarterback has to look for his back. So, he's scared he's going to get sacked because he don't have any protection. I feel like Kane Proctor, he's not ready yet. I heard you say on your show Sunday. I don't feel like he's ready yet. So I feel like he needs to put the more experienced guys in order for him to get there until next year. And man, until then, I mean, it's gonna be a struggle. I'm still with them, 100%. I got all my Alabama shorts on, and I got a wedding band with the Alabama wedding band, and I still rock myself every day. So I'm still with them, but it's gonna be a challenging season. I can't even tell you the last time I seen Alabama number 13. It probably before Nick Saban got there, pretty much. But it is some more rat poison, I hope, for them. It should motivate them to want to do right. That's all I got.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Jay. Be safe on the road, man, and we'll catch up with you next time.
Appreciate it. Have a good night. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, man. Jay from Pensacola with a good point, being that if Tommy Rees didn't think he was a good quarterback coach in college, what makes you think that would transition to coaching the quarterbacks? All right, so stay with me here, okay? So there was a couple guys that Alabama lost at the coaching position that were less known, kind of those support staff positions that I think played a really large role in development of the quarterback position. If you follow Alabama football closely, you're going to know these names that I'm about to mention. A.J. Milwee, who was basically Steve Sarkisian's right-hand man, coached the quarterbacks. Steve Sarkisian also coached the quarterbacks. And then behind him, the quarterback guru that was like the guy with the quarterbacks was Alex Mortensen. So Mortensen went with Trent Dilfer to UAB. And thank you. Look, 100%. Thank you, Jonathan. Mortensen, that was the guy that developed, I promise you, Jalen, Mac, Tua, Bryce. Like, that was the guy. And with him leaving, I think that the quarterback room has not been able to fulfill that position. Yeah, you can have your quarterback's coach, but in terms of Mortensen, that was the guy. And it was Milwee was under him. And I think that has started to, impact the quarterback room so far. Now, that can change. And, it is a small sample size. And I see you guys inside the comment box talking that it's early, and I get it. I agree with that. It's just like what we've seen so far just isn't it. And you have to play to the strength of the guys that you have. There's so much talent on this team. There's so much speed on this team. Figure out a way. Oh, how about this one? And Dan Enos, I love it. Yeah, Dan Enos was the guy. Man, remember when he rolled through? Dan Enos? And remember, there was an article. Do you remember how Dan Enos left? The story? So Dan Enos was a coach here at Alabama. And when he left, he just left. And there was a team meeting, and Coach Saban was like, "Where's Dan Enos?" And nobody had told Saban that he had just basically bounced out. This is how the story goes. So Saban's like, "Has anyone reached out to him?" And someone was like, "Oh, we text him." And then Saban was like, "Did anyone call him?" And, nobody had called him. So that was kind of the Dan Enos story. We go back to the phone lines. It's the 251. We start right now. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, man, Michael from Dolphin Island.
Hey, Michael, what's up, man? Appreciate you calling in from the island, man. Dolphin Island, that is. Welcome to the show, man. Take it away.
Hey, man, I just want to say, since you got on your own and separated from, on three or however that worked out, I put you on my prayer list and praying for you. Hope you do your thing, continue. And I just want to say that Tommy Rees might be the worst hire in Alabama history if he can't put it together with his offense. Mm-hmm. You're trying to run a Bryce Young offense with a Lambo at run at quarterback. Jalen Milroe is a physical freak, whether you like it or not. If you like him, you hate him, whatever. He is what he is. You're running a Bryce Young offense. If he played for Lane Kiffin and we had to play Jalen Milroe in our Ole Miss jersey, we'd be petrified. We'd be like, how are we going to stop this man? He's going to cook us. I mean, it'd be pitiful. Point. Fair or not?
Oh, my goodness. Look what he's doing with Jackson Dart. Like,
I'm telling you, he can't throw a birthday party.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you put, oh, my goodness, Lane Kiffin with Milroe, that just blew my mind.
Hey, I watched Gus Malzahn cook us with a defensive back at quarterback. for like what 2-3 years in Nick Marshall. And it's ridiculous. I have a friend on staff, and it's absolutely pitiful. He gets so mad, he'll text me, and he'll be just disgusted with the offense because he's on the defensive side of the ball, and he's like, man, we can do whatever we want, but if they can't get this situation right, they need to. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, it's a criminal offense what he's done to this offense. And I mean, if you got a left tackle that's getting cooked, fine, no problem. We got H back in number 45 in Oots. Oof. That would put that defensive end on his tail every time. If you got to block with 6, then let's block with 6.
Mm-hmm. That you know what I was saying that, Michael. So I was on the field against this last game, dude. Robbie Oots, like maybe that should be. So just hear me out. You have Tyler Booker at the guard position over there, kind of helping out from the veteran experience. Then you have Caden Proctor. I guess if that's the best guy that you got to ride with, whatever. But how about sliding the H-back Robbie Oots as an extra protection? Like, come up with something in that format, and then you could put Roydell Williams to the right of Jalen Milroe. Like, I mean, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Robbie Oots is a monster. Monster. He's listed at 260. I wouldn't be surprised if he's 270. I mean, you saw he could catch. I mean, get creative with it in some aspect. I mean, if, once again, 49ers, if they can get Kyle Juszczyk within the system, he's back there for a reason to protect, but to also, come up with some design plays. Look, I'm not saying make him a featured player, but get some protection out there on the left side because it is killing this team. What else you got, Michael?
Man, I don't know. That's about it. I'm happy the defense is playing well. I'm a big fan of Deontay Lawson, from the 251. I think Dallas Turner's a stud. I think the defense will. I think we'll win by 7 to 10 against Ole Miss, just by the defense. And I think the offensive line will get it together because Jalen Miller is the heartbeat of that offense right now. Whether anybody likes him or not, whether Reese loves him or hates him, it is what it is. But I'm to the point now to where if he can't get it together, they need to send him back to Notre Dame, take Buckner with him, and go ahead and let Hobbs and Wiggins run offense.
Got you, man. Yeah, no, I appreciate the call, and you're right. Deontay Lawson doing his thing. I just ran some numbers today. Actually, he is the highest graded player on Alabama's defense, Pro Football Focus grade-wise, and then he also has. I'm going to my tweets just now because I tweeted this out today. So I have Deontay Lawson has played in 209 snaps, most of them most on the defensive side, has a Pro Football Focus grade of 84.2, which is excellent. And he has 25 tackles, which leads the team through 3 games. So, thanks for mentioning Deontay Lawson. I think he's definitely a star.
Appreciate you, man. God bless you.
All right, man. Take it easy, man. Thank you so much. All right. We go from Michael in Dolphin Island. We got a 678, a 251, and a 347 right here on Bama Football with YouTube. Kyle Henderson. Yeah, I added a new logo. I'm trying to work on like some branding. It's on myself. So wanted kind of that YouTube logo up there. And I appreciate you guys subscribing. How about this? I think we're close to 93,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I was talking to my son who's 14. And I was like, man, 100,000 subscribers. It's literally like, if you've been to a football game at Alabama, that's an entire stadium subscribing to the channel. So I love all the support, and thank you very much for hitting the thumbs up. Goes a long way. Thank you for the super chats. You can become a fan funder for $2.99 if you just hit the join button. How to find the join button? Go to the homepage of the channel. If you're on desktop, it works better, and hit the join button. I put my social media feeds in there. Mr. Kyle Henderson, only one E. I have a typo in there on Instagram, and then Bama YouTube on Twitter. All right, with that, we go to our next caller. It's a 678. Let's do it. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Kevin, Dallas, Georgia. How are you doing this evening?
What's up, buddy? I appreciate you calling in, man. You always have such good context. Welcome to the show, and take it away.
Well, I just had to answer your question first, Kyle, and that is the stage was not only too big for Tyler Buckner, but it's also the stage is entirely too big for Coach Reese.
Yeah.
But my question to you, Your Honor, is this, and that is, wasn't the purpose, one of the main selling points for Tommy Reese was being able to utilize the tight end?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've only seen one significant play to the tight end, and that was Saturday.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say 2, because Amari Knobloch caught a really nice long touchdown pass as well this season, and then he's kind of been underutilized. But yeah, to talk about the tight ends, yes, that was a beautiful ball that Ty Simpson threw to CJ Dupree, and most of those 44 yards were on, was a pass, and Tommy Reed and CJ Dupree ran more like 5 or 6 yards. So yes. Amari Niblock was used creatively one time as well. Danny Lewis, I don't even know what happened to Danny Lewis. We are getting a lot of hype from him. Hasn't been utilized. Robbie Oots caught a 3 or 4 yard pass against South Florida. The ball was underthrown, makes a good catch, and then he's knocked out of bounds close to the 1 yard line. Other than that, haven't really seen too much from the tight end play. I want to see more of it because I think those guys can help out, and especially Amari Niblock, get creative with him, get him the football. But last game nobody was getting the football.
And then also I heard one of the selling points, the reason why Tommy Rees was not able to do all that he wanted to do at Notre Dame was because he didn't have the talent. Would it be safe to say he has talent out of the yin-yang at the University of Alabama?
1,000,000%. I mean, look at all the guys that we've been mentioning. I mean, look at all those wide receivers. It's a travesty that Malik Benson, when I looked at targets, that he has 1 target. It's sad that Jermaine Burton, who is playing at an extremely high level, is being underutilized. I mean, the guy is playing at such a high level. And what's sad is last year wasn't a great year for him. Besides the Sugar Bowl, where he did do well. He started playing at a high level then. He's carried that over. The guy is playing at a high level. Get him the football in some aspect. Isaiah Bond, complete speedster. Reminds me, no one's like Waddle, but that's the type of playmaking ability that he has. Kendrick Law needs the football. I get it. He was sick last game. Get him the football. Kobe Prentice, he's been playing at a high level. He didn't even catch a pass last week. Didn't even catch a pass. Get the playmakers the football. Figure it out.
And that's the travesty, Kyle. That's the travesty. And to make a long story short, sometimes in life, as far as I'm concerned, Kyle, I have to go back in order to go forward. And I'll try to be brief, but try to be concise. And that is, we had a conversation about 2 years ago. And I stated that as far as with that particular class, which would have included Bryce, that we should have won at least one national championship. Then I thought as far as in Kool-Aid's class that including that one, that there should have been at least 1 or 2 more. And unless something changes, and this is including Mr. Steele, because I know we can say, okay, Steele has a great resume, but I want to see something more than when he had the 2 studs at Auburn and they wreaked havoc on Alabama's offensive line, a few years ago. I want to see more than that. I can't just live in yesterday. I have to live in, just like we get angry with the young people as far as living in the moment. I'm living in the moment right now, and Saturday will be the latter part of the first quarter or the first half of the season. And Alabama fans, we have to look at it. We have to break the remainder of the regular season down into quarters. This will be the end of the first quarter as far as Saturday. The next 3 games will be the second quarter, then subsequently the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. As far as this season is concerned, everyone has to roll in the same direction, and it has to be Jalen Milroe. Now, as far as off season, the quarterback position wide open, because as I stated as far as this past weekend, the future, if you want to say so bright that you can wear shades, is presently playing his senior year in California as far as the future of Alabama football at the quarterback position. Mm-hmm. But in the present, we have to all row in the same direction as far as Jalen Milroe. But it doesn't make any difference who is the starting quarterback. We have to work to his strengths.
Yep.
If his strength is not to be a drop-back quarterback, he is not Peyton Manning. Mm-hmm. He's not Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. He is Jalen Milroe. Mm-hmm. Let's work to Jalen Milroe's strength. And I don't give a dog on whether the game is 34-33. As long as Alabama gets the W, that's all that matters.
Yep.
The defense do their job. The offense, consistent and utilizing all the talent that they have. Mm-hmm. The year can be successful, Kyle. But the thing is, if we don't utilize our talent, play to the strengths of all the players, mm-hmm. we're not going to be successful.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you got to get the playmakers of football on the offensive side, on the defensive side too. You got to get to the quarterback when it's time to get pressure, and you got to create turnovers. The team, I think, has a lot of defensive playmakers, and I think the defense, I still believe in the defense. I don't know really what to take away from the offense at this point. I don't think a lot of people do because there's no identity, but, things got to click. And you're right. This is kind of, this will be the fourth game of the season, and it's time for this team to figure it out. And Reese can still grab hold of this offense, and there's so many playmakers, and something has to happen. I kind of think it's almost like a gut check time for this team, because think about this, a win here against Lane Kiffin, who's been tooting his horn, tooting the mouth all week, gives them a ton of momentum, I feel. And then you go into that week 2, that next SEC game against Mississippi State, gain a little bit momentum before you go into that 4-game gauntlet. A loss derails this team 100%. A loss against Ole Miss will have ripple effects that you haven't seen in a long time. It will continue to divide this team. You cannot lose this game against Ole Miss. This is a monumental game on Saturday. What else you got, Kevin? Anything else before I get to my next caller?
Just plain and simply, continue doing what you're doing, Kyle. Hey, we greatly appreciate it, and just thanks. And I have to say this in part because one other thing that we have in common other than the University of Alabama is 49ers. Oh. I've been a 49er since, quote, the past.
Yeah, me too. Yes.
And the thing is, if you just want to compare for a moment, Alabama's offense, as far as skill-wise, is the equivalent of the 49ers.
I know.
Someone that could be utilized in multiple positions in the backfield, tight end, etc. But we're not. But the thing is, Shanahan utilizes everyone. The water boy, the trainer, everyone has a set.
How about just a simple misdirection play with some speed, right? Like misdirection. I mean, utilize them. And don't be afraid to put guys at different positions just to get them the football, right? Like, yo, CMC, you're the best player. Go outside and you're a wide receiver. Debo Samuel, come back. You're a running back. Get the best players the football, regardless of where they're at. Free Justice Haynes. All right, Kevin, I appreciate you, man, and let's talk next time.
Look forward to it. Take care, Kyle.
Oh, man, you too. How about that? Kevin in Dallas, Georgia. The first time I talked to, because I've said this a million times, I'm from New Mexico, but when Kevin called in, I saw Dallas, Georgia, but I only heard Dallas. So, of course, I reverted to Texas, right? And then the first time that I moved here and I was talking to somebody and they were like, because I used to live in Los Angeles too. They're like, yo, what's up? I'm calling from L.A. And I was like, L.A.? No way. I lived in Redondo Beach, Hermosa. And they were like, no, lower Alabama. So I'm learning. Now I know when you meet somebody from L.A., it's L.A. It's more than likely Foley or beautiful Fairhope or one of those amazing areas down there. So with that said, we move to our next caller, the 251. Let's get it.
Hey, what's up, Kyle? It's Jonathan from Birmingham, but I live in NYC. I was the one that put Alex Morton. I was screaming Alex Morton a minute ago when he was trying to.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you pointed that out because do you agree with me in the sense that Mortensen was kind of like the quarterback whisperer?
Absolutely.
Right, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he and I read an article about him a couple of years ago, and it said that he's all about like the X's and O's of reading defenses and the quarterback mechanics. The thing I wanted to ask you about, or two things. The first thing is, why in the world, and you can just tell me your opinion, and I've noticed this, and it may not be all the time, but I've seen it a lot lately. Why are we, with all the problems we're having with the O-line, having these wideouts with all these slow developing routes? Like, what? That's not going to work. Why do we continue to try to drop back, have these guys doing these dig routes and all this when the O-line can't hold up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think that's a good question. And I think a lot of that might come from the fact that maybe the offensive coordinator is scared to see the intermediate passing from Milroe. Maybe they just don't feel that he's able to do that at this point. But to your point, maybe they need to be doing that, like getting the football out as quick as possible. That's why we were talking to, okay, if it isn't like intermediate stuff across the middle of the field, then maybe something towards the flats or screens, right? Because we haven't really seen that implemented just yet from Alabama. Like get the ball to the guys with speed and space and let them, see if they can do something on the outside. But yeah, I think that's something good worth kind of digging into in terms of the offensive play calling schematics.
Yeah, right. And Bill O'Brien did the same thing. So I don't know. I don't know if it's Saban. In your opinion, Kyle, do you think Saban's give Tommy Rees the ability to I guess my question is how much leash do you think he's given him? Do you think he's at this point I think he should just say, hey, we've got to figure something out. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like maybe he's not letting him do what he's capable of. But that could sound really crazy at the same time. But obviously I'm not there. But it just seems like there's a lot of the same plays.
Yeah, it doesn't seem creative at all. It doesn't seem. In terms of, I saw a little bit of light in the first game against Middle. Things got, off the rails against Texas. South Florida didn't seem like there was really, anything to get excited about. Maybe that was by design. In terms of giving Rees kind of the keys, I think he has them. But like I said, maybe the stage is a little bit too big for him. What's the guy, 31 years old? There's a lot of mouths 31 to feed, and there's a lot of players, got to be talking, about this and that, Alabama. But what I do have faith in is that now that a quarterback has been named, that maybe the offense, look, he has all week. Coach Saban said that on Monday, okay? And I'm sure they've talked about it right after the game. They're like, look, okay, Ty Simpson played great. He's going to get there at some point, but he's probably not ready right now to beat Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. We're going to get into a street fight. We all know that. So
Absolutely.
That Milroe is going to be the quarterback. Design something around him and his play style and his playmaking abilities to get the football to the fastest guys on the team, make it quick. We understand. We all know. Look, if we're talking and we're not on the coaching staff, they know. Look, Alabama has a weak left tackle. Alabama has the fastest player on the field at quarterback. They have running backs who can clearly tote the rock. Roydale Williams, that was a great performance by him. And you know what? Talking to him, I'm sure you guys saw the video interview. He has a lot of momentum. He has a lot of confidence. If there's anyone that has swagger right now, it's Roydale Williams. Feed him. Don't be afraid to feed him. Right? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I graduated from Hughtown High School, which is where he went, which is where he played ball and went to school. No,
good, great kid. Humble, but he wants to be fed. Feed him and Jace. Let Milroe do his thing. Go ahead, John.
I just had one more question. I'll let you get somebody else on the phone. Did you hear earlier this year when we didn't have a D coordinator, and then we it was announced that Kevin Steele was going to be D coordinator? Did you hear anything about him needing another year of being in the Did you heard that, right?
Yeah. So
do you think his heart's in the right spot if he's just trying to buy another year to? I would never question anybody's drive or anything like that, but it just seems that if he's just coming here, I need one more year to retire. Is your fire still there? Is the fire still there that you had at Auburn, that you had, 7-8 years ago when you was with us? I don't know. I found that odd.
Yeah. So what John's talking about is I think that Kevin Steele has like one more year in the state of Alabama to coach at, to gain like full access to his pension or retirement plan or whatever. So not only did it make sense for Saban to hire him and bring him back on because he's proven, but also from like Kevin Steele's perspective, that it kind of made sense for him. So hearing him speak, and this is the thing that I don't agree with Alabama football, especially with the media department, is, and I said this on my last show, we get to talk to the players. Imagine the players right now aren't feeling themselves. I mean, a couple, what was it? After the Texas game, like the Monday, we talked to Dallas Turner. Dude was he didn't want to be there at all. He was upset. We should have, who should have came to the podium was Kevin Steele. Tommy Rees should have came. Like those guys we should be able to talk to the OC and DC. I said that before. Those would be some great questions for Kevin Steele. Where you at in terms of, kind of the mentality? And you said that the game did change. I mean, has it changed so much like that? Because Lane Kiffin, look, he's saying something. Lane Kiffin's smart. He's seen something that's going on. And I get it. He's trying to piss Saban off, and he's doing that. He's pissing everybody off from Alabama. But I don't know. That would probably be that's something to kind of dig into to see if, Kevin still is the guy. But we won't know until, the end of the season. Anything else, John, while I got you on the line before I move to our next caller?
No, man. I listened to you. Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, love the show. Listen to you all the time. I've been listening to you for a while. Where do you go on the to be a what do you call it? Where you pay the $2.99 a month?
Oh, the joint
fan funded.
Yeah, the joint.
Where is that link at?
You know what? It is so confusing. Okay. So if you go on your desktop, not on your phone. So go on your desktop, you have a laptop or whatever, and you go to the homepage. What I mean by the homepage is like where you see like all the videos posted. You can just type in, I think, YouTube /Bama YouTube. And you'll see a subscribe button, and it's next to the subscribe button, and it says join. You click the join, and there's a couple different levels. So YouTube needs to fix that option to make it easier. You should be able to just click. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for asking, John.
Yeah, man. Talk to you next time.
Yeah, see you, buddy. All right.
See you.
All right, we got a 337 and a 937 inside the call queue. We'll get to our 337. Been on the phone for a while. I don't want to keep him waiting. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from? And by the way, thank you for being patient.
Oh, that's all good. David from Louisiana.
What's up, David? I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome to the show, and take it away, man. You're on.
Oh, not much. Just had a little rain earlier today and watched the hummingbirds fly around these feeders. That's a pretty cool thing. If you ain't ever put one out. It's pretty cool. Now, I know we had a tough game this past weekend against the little USF or wherever they are. But I remember a particular coach stating in a conference that they had after the game against a team from Georgia, named the Bulldogs, but another team from Georgia. He said they ran through us like shit through a tin can. Sorry for using that language.
No,
but
wasn't it
was Georgia Southern.
Wasn't it a tin horn? Didn't he say tin horn?
Yeah, through a tin horn can or something like that.
All right, continue. Go ahead.
And, and that was a pretty good team we had that year. And, in the first quarter, it was Bama 10-0. Second quarter, it was Bama 24-14. Third quarter, 38-21. Fourth quarter, final in the game was 45-21. Now, look at this. Total offense for Georgia Southern was 341 yards. Bama had 462 yards. They outrushed us 302 yards to 277. They had an average of 7.7 yards to carry. Bama had 5.6. And they only had 5 penalties for 40 yards. Bama had 6 penalties for 35 yards. I mean, the penalties ain't changed over the years from what I've seen. But what I would love to see is, you remember a guy by the name of Terrence Trent Cody, Big Mount Cody?
Yes.
That they used him as a running back sometimes. They put him in the backfield, especially on them goal line stands and everything where they get in there, and he would truck a lane. I don't see why we don't do that from time to time. Put him in, get a lane, even if it ain't on the goal line. Let him run some people over, especially if we're having problems with the offensive line blocking. I mean, what would it hurt? I mean, he could step back there and throw somebody. I know he ain't gonna be playing, but get a good lineman that can do some blocking and running people over and making some lanes for our running backs. You know, I mean, the ground game is going to be a big factor this weekend against Ole Miss. If we can ground and pound and keep the ball away from that high-powered offense that they have, you know, even though they struggled against Tulane, you know, Tulane, if their quarterback would have been in, you know, I heard your little watch your video with the Ole Miss guy.
Yep.
And he said their quarterback would have been in. It would have probably been a different ball game, you know. They do got a really good quarterback. But what else I want to really see done is get those freaking OC and that freaking DC out of that booth and put them on the freaking sideline. I don't care if Nick Saban goes up and headbutts them and kicks them in there. You know what? What I want to see is whenever the offense starts screwing up, messing up, something happens, a play falls apart, I want the OC, like you see in the NFL, the OC, if he ain't in the booth, he's on the ground, going and sitting in a huddle with the offense and a quarterback, and sitting there saying, this is what you need to do. I don't want to see this idiot with his hand in his face on video, on TV, up 300 feet.
David, I think David drove through a tunnel. David, I think you went through a tunnel or something like that in Louisiana. We'll call you back. I appreciate you calling in. But this was the thing. He brings up a great point, and I'll end it how David does. David always says, God bless his country, and God bless, he says, God bless Roll Tide, and God bless his great country. But what he was saying is like, so Tommy Rees, and I get it, like think about this. You practice all week on the field, right, with your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator. And then on game day, the most monumental day of the week, these guys are up in the box and you're talking to them on the phone. I get it. I can see it from the offensive perspective, but I don't know. Maybe since this team needs more like continuity, maybe it would make more sense for these guys to be on the field talking to these guys. I don't know. We go back to the phone lines and we go with a 937. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on the call-in line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
What's up, man? I'm Harlan from Springfield, Ohio.
What was your first name?
Harlan, Harlan.
What's up, man? I appreciate it, man. Welcome to the show. Take it away.
I want to start off by saying the run game has been looking flavorless and stale. I don't think we've run enough pulling linemen, and I don't think we've run enough stretch plays or a veer option here and there to utilize Milroe's legs and running ability. I seen in the Texas game, they were able to run a spy virtually every single pass play. Why wouldn't that try to be exposed, run something behind that, get him moving, create a lane? So just try. That's all I'm asking for from the OC is just to try to utilize the talent you have.
Do you feel that when you watch this team, we're on with Harlan calling in from Springfield, Ohio. I appreciate the call in. Do you like Roydell Williams, Jace McClellan? It seems like they're starting to gain a little momentum. That was something that did look good, especially Roydell. I mean, he runs hard, and I was glad to see them coming hard. Right. Like he runs hard. He's not the biggest dude in the room, but the guy can run hard. And I don't think we're talking about any like pure running quarterbacks, but that is certainly one of Milroe's assets, right? And that can keep you off balance if you're a defensive coordinator. We've seen him. I mean, the guys this week on Monday said, and it was Jermaine Burton who said this, he can throw the football as far as anybody. And he has been accurate with the deep ball passes. And one thing that happens on a defense is when the quarterback can run, it makes things, it keeps you off balance. Go ahead, Arlen, continue.
I'm going to say that just mixing in quarterback run here and there instead of dive every first down, like the defense not going to see it coming. especially when we come out in two tight ends. Like, at least try to throw in some misdirection here and there, or like the guy earlier said, try to use the tight ends more in the passing game, because that was a selling point for Tommy Reese coming in. And where's the offensive line play at? That was the whole thing in the offseason, how big the offensive line was, how they were going to mash people off the ball and dominate. We really haven't really seen that really manifest itself here through 3 weeks.
I appreciate the call, Harlan. Yeah, I mean, this team has not, demonstrated, I don't think, what they're capable of on the offensive side. If things do click, this team can win a lot of football games. It's too far away to say if they're going to be. Remember the days like when you watch Alabama football and you're like, yeah, these dudes are. SEC West seemed almost easy, right? Like you're like, these dudes are winning the West hands down. But if you watched LSU play, they're hot. Ole Miss is going to be challenging. I don't know, what's up the sleeve with Jimbo Fisher, but on the road, it's going to be challenging. So unless this team figures it out offensively, it's going to be just a street fight all the way through and through, something that we're not accustomed to. And it'll be, interesting to see how many games this team can win. But I appreciate the call from Springfield, man. Please call again. You're welcome to call anytime, and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
All right, man. Peace.
Yep. Peace out. That was Harlan. All right, 859, you're on the call line. I'll get you in just 1 second. Hey, what's up? My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Please take a minute and hit the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please become a subscriber. It's free. Inching closer to 100,000 subscribers right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coach Saban's press conference, I just uploaded that tonight. He talked about Jalen Milroe, and he said that the cake is baked. He said that the number 2 quarterback is clearly Ty Simpson. And then he did mention that the injuries of Jaheim Otis and Tyler Booker, who's Alabama's guard, who did not play against South Florida, he said that those two guys have been practicing this week. We do not have an injury report on Manuel Henderson, who's a wide receiver who has some sort of hip injury. But other than that, this team is pretty healthy. On the flip side, some of Ole Miss's most talented weapons on the offensive side, they're a little bit banged up, probably close to 80, 90%. I would expect them to be probably good to go for this game against Alabama, but there's an interview with Neil McCready that you can find on our YouTube channel where he says that they are banged up. And that's, something that even Kiffin did talk about today. Kiffin's been trolling Alabama all week. He said that he was even late. So the SEC teleconference works like this. You call in this call online and then you just wait. And then the coaches come and they answer 5 or 6 questions. So Coach Saban was at 11 and Kiffin was at 12. So I came back and I was listening to Kiffin so I could get that audio to you guys. And Kiffin comes and they're like, all right, now we're on with Lane Kiffin. And there's radio sound. There's nothing for 30 seconds. And then he's comes in. He's like, sorry, I was late. He was like, I just, you can hear it on the call. I chopped it. I chopped kind of that silence, but he's like, he's like, we've been putting in, I'm late because we've had to go extra to prepare for Alabama's offense. That's what he said. He's always a troll. He's like the troll king. But we go to our next caller, and it's 859. We start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Austin. It's Austin from Kentucky.
Austin calling in from Kentucky. You're on the line, man. Take it away. Welcome to the show.
Hey, man. Thank you for having me, man. I just want to say, Roll Tide, and I want to get your thoughts on the play call, man. I don't think we're running the ball in the right spots. We're trying to go off tackle a little bit too much. We need to be lining up. If anything, 2 tight ends are running straight off the guard like we did with Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram and Eddie Lacy. But for some reason, they want to run this read option stuff, and I don't think our guards have the footwork to pull and move and be able to get a hat on the hat where they're supposed to be. And guys are getting in the backfield, and it ends up being a 1-yard gain or a 2-yard loss. And then on the flip side of that, when we do throw the ball, I think, like a lot of the callers have said, Jalen Milroe, he's only seeing one side of the field. And if he's only seeing one side of the field, then that means guys are open, but he's not seeing them. So, I think he's the guy. I think we need to go with him. But, against better DBs, the jury's still out. The jury's still out.
On with Austin from Kentucky. I appreciate the call. And yeah, 100%, man. Everything you said is facts. I think that And Pete Golding knows that as well. You don't think that he's looking at that Texas film and understands directly what the weaknesses of Jalen Milroe? So it's going to be a chess game between Tommy Rees trying to play to Jalen Milroe's strength, if he can do that, and limit turnovers. Because if Alabama turns over the football, they're not winning this game. We know that. I mean, they lost against Texas because of turnovers. You take away those 2 turnovers, Alabama wins that game. They beat Texas. And we're still not happy with how this team has played, probably because it just hasn't been it. But those 2 turnovers will kill you. And as Saban has talked about, drive killers, and those have been it. And it's happened on the run with the run game as well. I think that does come down to the schematics of using the running backs and not putting them in the right situations. Now, if you're going to run behind a guard, I want to see them running behind Tyler Booker if they can. And I thought that's what we were going to see behind Tyler Booker, Caden Proctor, in some sort of formation where you have an H-back like Robbie Oots. Because if you look at the Sugar Bowl tape, Robbie Oots was used so effectively, even by Bill O'Brien, to where he was coming off and he was put in motion and he was blocking downfield for even a touchdown run, come to think about it, in the Sugar Bowl for Jace McClellan. Do you remember that? Where they utilized him to basically pull. He came up and he put a block downfield. Maybe it was like 10 yards, but it sprung a touchdown. So I'm not sure why they've gone away from that, but you need to be running behind Oots, Tyler Booker. And we know that right now, Caden Proctor just isn't in that type of shape to be, going too much. Plus a tackle that's not specifically their job. And the other thing is, Terrence Ferguson. When I watched Terrence Ferguson's tape when he first was recruited to Alabama, I was so excited. And guess what we labeled him as? A road grader. Does he have that? Does he have that ability to be a road grader? And can he be an effective run blocker as well? We need to see something from him. And Seth, run the damn ball. McLaughlin, is he strong enough at the center position to retain that position? I don't a lot of people aren't happy about Darian Dalcourt. They did a little bit better in pass pro against South Florida, considering all those exotic blitzes. But I don't know. I'm just kind of, the jury's still out on Seth on me, which sucks to say because he did really well against Georgia a couple seasons ago. And I just, that offensive line just isn't it right now. And I'm concerned that it's going to continue to plague this team unless something is drastically fixed. What else you got, Austin?
Well, brother, on what you trying to come off what you said, the guy's a freshman. You're going to take your lumps with a freshman.
Yep.
He's going to give up some sacks. Sometimes he might try to use his size too much, and he might get beat with a quicker rusher on the inside on the run block. But I mean, if he's big and strong as they say he is, and he was top 3 his position, then I mean, you got to put him out there because I mean he's not 6'8", 360 for nothing. He just needs time, and I think throughout the season, I think he will get better. So do I think we should replace him? No. But do I think we should run somewhere else? Yes, because if we're passing, the back needs to be on his side to help chip whoever's blitzing because they're going to come off his side. It's been proven. They're going to come right off his side every down, especially on 3rd and long. Somebody's coming off that side unaccounted for. So, I just think it's really been on the play callers, man. I don't want to put all the blame on these players. They're good. They're talented for a reason. Table brought them there for a reason. He knows how to evaluate talent. So I feel like it's on Tommy Rees and kind of on Nick, too, to get in Tommy Rees's ass and be like, look, this is what we're working with. This is our guy. We need the game plan around their strengths. And like you said, or the last gentleman said, get Isaiah Bond the ball. He's too fast to only be getting 4 or 5 targets.
Yeah,
should be getting thrown the ball in the screen game, like how Texas did us. That's how we should be doing other teams with him. Isaiah Bond in the screen game. Not just him. There's other receivers that are fast. What's the guy's name? Well, I think he transferred. J.E. Hall. That's why he transferred. One of the fastest guys on the team, but he never got the ball, so he went elsewhere. If Alabama doesn't want to continue to lose wide receivers and running backs, they have to start utilizing because these players know the money is there elsewhere, and they will leave.
Yeah.
And they'll leave us looking stupid in close games where we need them, like against LSU, against Texas. If we'd have had Bijan Robinson against Texas, then we would have scored 2 or 3 times because the other backs just weren't fast enough to break those long runs, McClellan broke 1, but he should have had 3 or 4.
Austin, I think actually that was probably me who Lost connection. Another small technical difficulty. Give me like 2 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So what happens is look, I do all this stuff. I do all the editing and like all this stuff by myself. I'm even surprised that this works as well as it does, honestly, like connecting like the calls and stuff like that. I don't like, this isn't a fancy operation. Trust me. I'm doing this from upstairs in my house, and it's like the internet and all this weird stuff, all the problems that, like, oh, okay. You're there. Austin still okay. I thought we got disconnected.
No, I hear you clearly, brother. I'm not wondering if you heard me at all.
I appreciate you, man. No, but you're making some great points, man. I think it is kind of like, because sometimes we throw it at the Jimmys and Joes, but sometimes it's the X's and O's, right? That up top. And the talent's there. I mean, these guys are highly ranked. I mean, what happens? They come over here and they're 3-star players? No, it's these guys are here. They understand it. We had to put them in the right position for them to exceed. And I think that like, man, I just had so much faith in Proctor, and like you, it's still early. But who's behind him? And like, because we might get into some sort of emergency situation to where he's got to come out and we got to put someone back in for him. Anything else, Austin, while I got you on the line?
One more thing, brother. Y'all need to stop being so hard on the freshman back there at DB. He's a freshman.
Oh, Caleb.
If you didn't think Texas was going to, Caleb Downs. Yeah. If you didn't think Downs was going to get beat at least once against Texas, you were high, because he's a freshman. And if you know Sark, like most people know Sark, he's going to go after your weakest link. And he was the youngest guy in that secondary. He knows he's probably using his eyes to make a lot of his plays. He's relying on his athletic ability. So it happened. Yeah. But at the same token, Alabama on defense should have been more aggressive. Too many times that they did not blitz like they should have. If I got a team that's coming at my neck and throwing the ringer at me, I'm going to do the same thing on defense. I'm not going to sit back and hope that you don't call what you should. You know what I'm saying? And it was obvious from the tip that they were going to throw it downfield, and the rest of the teams are going to follow, man. And Roll Tide, and I hope that these coordinators hear us and they're watching the film with purpose, and they're not just saying, "Oh, we'll figure it out." No, make a game plan around the guys who are going to be on the field, who you trust. Make a game plan that puts the guys who can do certain things at the best of their ability in those situations. Like you were saying, Lethan or whatever his name is, the third. He's good in run. He's good in defending the run, but he sucks at pass protection. So why is he out there on third down? He shouldn't. We should be in like Georgia does, a Raptor package where we put our fastest, best pass rushers on the field and we go get them. That's what Kirby Smart used to always do when he was our defensive coordinator. On third down, we were coming. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter if it was 3rd and 5, if it was 3rd and 12. We were coming on third down. And teams knew we were coming, but they didn't know where we were coming from. And Saban has to get back to that. He has to get more creative on defense and force Tommy Rees to be more creative on offense. Roll Tide, brother.
Roll Tide to you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging in there, man. That was Austin calling up from Kentucky. Got a 205, a 205, and a 205, a triple 205. Yeah, you know what? I like this. What's up, Keen? I see you. Why not get 31? So 31 is Keon Keeley. And I mean, the size of him, the athleticism of him, and like and I agree with this too, like the pass rush just hasn't been it. Need to like get that pass rush going, need to get after the quarterback. I don't know if you're gonna have an opportunity to do it this weekend. You will clearly in different situations, but this team is going to do they're gonna be fastball as well. The quarterback is a tremendous athlete. 205, let's get it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
This is Clayton from Huntsville. How you doing, Kyle?
Clayton from Huntsville. I appreciate it, man. Welcome to the show, and take it away.
Well, I feel like I've just got a couple points. Really, in general, I think this being now midweek into week 4, I think probably the tempers have kind of simmered down a little bit. There's been some kind of overreaction to the poor performance of this past weekend. But, I think it's good to keep in mind that these still, and like this has kind of been mentioned before, arguably these are probably the best players in the country. And you have maybe not the best coaching staff, but it's not like it's Vandy. This is a quality coaching staff. You've got the greatest of all time as your head coach. So I think the calls for heads need to simmer down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of to go into maybe more offensive kind of conundrum, I think, the main discussion is really the offensive line. And I don't really think that they've, on the whole, been a bad offensive line. I think it's just kind of little things here and there. And really the main link is because of Caden Proctor. He's a true freshman and he's a big boy, but he just can't handle the speed right now. And I don't know if that's something that coach is going to shift over and say, we're just going to have Pritchett in and roll with him, or we just can keep rolling with Proctor. So I think that's probably be interesting to see. Another thing I don't think that's really been brought up a lot is this past weekend, I thought tight end blocking was actually pretty subpar in certain plays, especially backside. I felt like their backside linebacker was just getting into our backfield pretty quick, and he just chased down the running back. But I think Dalcourt, honestly, he's gotten a lot of hate over in the off season and then kind of into regular season. But I think he really deserves an apology from a lot of the fan base, because right now I think he's showing himself to be one of the most consistent guys on the squad.
Where do you can I ask you a question while we're talking offensive line real quick? We're with Clayton from Huntsville.
Sure.
I appreciate the call in. Regarding Terrence Ferguson, I know you haven't mentioned him yet. What is your? Let me ask you this: what is, in your opinion, what is the best offensive line setup? Go from left to right.
Left to right, left to right. See, left is kind of probably where your biggest question mark. It seems like from what Saban had mentioned in his press conferences this evening, when he mentioned like we have 2 freshman stars, it sounds like they might still go with them. We don't know exactly, but it sounds like it's still going to be Proctor. If Booker is ready to play, he's definitely, I think Proctor needs help, and Booker needs to be left guard, and then Seth, Dalcourt, and then Latham. So I think it really kind of more or less stays the same as has been for games 1 and 2. But I don't really think it's a bad lineup. I think if anything, if you start changing up more of the players, you're going to create more trouble. And we're already trying to at a point where if you're trying to iron out things, adding more variables that create problems it's not what you want to do, especially going into SEC week. So
yeah,
I'd say that at least for that lineup.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Oh, someone did mention earlier on the call, and I'd wondered the same thing. Why hasn't Alabama really utilized the screens and sweeps that I remember a couple of years ago that they used to use all the time?
I know.
I remember
we were talking about that. Good point. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember those jet sweeps that they'd run, this little kind of toss sweep. They do it like several times a drive, and if as Bond is as fast as they say it is, and Latham is kind of our strong point at right tackle, why aren't we using that as kind of a leading edge into this weekend? So, I don't know. Obviously, coaches are a lot smarter than I am, but that's something I've just said and wondered.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. First of all, I think when you look to the offensive line, it's like we've talked about the offensive line, and that's why I asked you kind of what your best five was. And then regarding the screens or the jet sweeps, I mean, Isaiah Bond is fast. He's got speed to burn. Malik Benson has speed to burn. Not having, and you know what? I think oddly enough, I think one of the fastest wide receivers is actually Jermaine Burton. And somebody asked me, I'm sorry, I didn't get to this earlier. Ja'Cory Brooks, what's up with Ja'Cory Brooks? Look, I mean, I think the guys are just, better than him. And it's not like a lot of these wide receivers have a ton of receptions anyways. I mean, Kobe Prentice, didn't even catch a pass against South Florida, which sucks for him. I mean, and
he's quick too.
He's another fast guy. Yeah. And he's been productive the last two seasons. Clayton, I got to get to my next caller, but I really appreciate you calling in. Huntsville's a really cool spot too. I went up there for my first time this summer. Really great city, and I appreciate you calling in. Please call again next time.
Yes, sir, Kyle. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you. All right, that was Clayton calling in from Huntsville. We got a 205 and a 205. These will be our last two calls of the night. So if you don't want to wait on the line, just hang tight, and we'll cruise through these last two callers. 205, you're up. Hey, welcome to the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, this is Greg from Gardendale, Alabama. How you doing?
Hey, Greg. Good evening. Thank you very much for calling in. Welcome to the show. Take it away.
Hey, buddy. First off, I love your show. Love listening to these guys talking football. They obviously know what they're talking about. I don't. I just had a comment for you. Hey, don't get me into that. Don't give me all this stuff they're talking about, because I'm one of these, love to watch it, but all the plays and all that, don't know a lot about it. I do want to say this. When we talk about Reese and talk about Jalen, that's his name. During the Texas game, we talk about the 10 points he gave away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Reese had a pretty good game plan because he brought us back, and Milroe brought us back. But why that took 14 points off because of what? The penalties, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, those 10 points to me were irrelevant. It was those two penalties to me that killed us. Do you agree?
Drive killers. Coach Saban talked about that. Yeah, go ahead.
We would have won the game by the 4. But I think my question is, and this really isn't a joke, but I think it was year before last where we played Georgia and our offensive line wasn't so great. And if I recall, Saban had Pendry come in for a week? Joe Pendry?
Yes.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
How can he straighten out a line in a week and we can't get one done in a summer and 3 weeks? So I mean, this guy, if he's in a nursing home, can we go get him?
Oh man, fair point.
A great coach. So I don't know what it is he does so differently that he can change something in a week.
Yeah,
and maybe it's just the way he teaches. I'm not sure, but and again, I love your show, and I'm just really want to make that comment that I think, I'm not down on Reese yet.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not, because
Mm-hmm.
he called the plays to get us back in the game, and we just let those penalties grab us. So I'm looking forward to Saturday, and I don't want to take up a lot of your time. Looking forward to Saturday, and I think we're going to see a big change, because who knows? Saban may have been teaching Reese and Milroe a lesson this last Saturday. Maybe Reese was in his ear about playing Buckner, and he's like, okay, playing, right? So maybe it was just a head game thing for him, but who knows? But I think we're going to be on the right track, and everything's going to be great. And all these guys listening that talk all this football, I love listening to you guys. Sorry I can't give any input on it. And Kyle, you're great. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Greg. Have a good evening.
All right, buddy. Y'all too.
All right. That was Greg calling in from Gardendale. I almost hit the close button to close out the whole show. Hey, I'm going to get to my next caller. It's a 205, and then that'll be the last call of the night. Hey, I just wanted to quickly say I really appreciate you guys being on the channel and being here. It's like sometimes people, let me tell you something. So someone said, why do you always say, what's up, fam, before when I do my creative content videos? And the thing is, I don't have one family member out here. Obviously, I got my kids, but I don't have one family member out here. So like when I started talking to the community of YouTube, it got very large very quickly. So it became like family, honestly. And so I've gotten to know a lot of different people throughout this journey. I've made a lot of friends, a lot of people out here, now in Tuscaloosa, I'm able to know because of the YouTube channel. And it was nice to, meet some new friends even this year. Shout out to Toby. Toby is a huge Alabama football fan who lives in Leeds. And he just texted me now and he said, can't wait to see you on Saturday. And so that's kind of become like a home, tradition to say what's up to Toby. So Toby, if you're watching, I will see you on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to it for sure. With that said, let's do our last call of the night. 256. I'm going to just take this last call. And truth is, I got to wake up super early because my mom's been in town. She's flying back to New Mexico. So I'm going to clip this show, and then I got to break out. So this is my last call of the night. Here we go. Hey, thanks for joining the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, this is Asa Smith calling from Fultondale, Alabama.
Oh, great. Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. Go ahead. Welcome to the show.
Well, I just wanted to say, for a gentleman that came all the way from Mexico, you sure know your Alabama football. I think you've done an excellent job thus far. Just keep on keeping on with the passion, and things will fall into place. And, it took Texas over a decade to get revenge on us, so let them have it. And, we kind of gave it to them, and it was kind of embarrassing, but I think that'll kind of wake the boys up. And as far as South Florida, last year they lost the Florida Gators by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that South Florida team has got a lot of speed.
Yeah.
So don't be fooled. They're very talented, and we needed to face an offense that fast to get us ready for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
So I think we'll actually come out better having to chase that kid all over South Florida for this Saturday against Jackson Dart. So I think we'll end up doing fine if we can somehow move the guards around and get the inexperienced guard over there next to Latham and the better guard over there next to the kid from Iowa. Then I think our line will balance out.
You know what, Asa, I think that, first of all, I appreciate you calling in and thank you for the feedback. And I think you bring up a good point regarding South Florida in terms of the fastball getting, it comes at perfect time getting ready for Lane Kiffin's offense. And look, Tommy Reese, there's a long way to go, but I'm just thinking, you look at the early career of Alex Gollish, the head football coach of South Florida. That guy has a really good offense. Hell yeah. Man, if he would have been, look, that guy is a great offensive mind. I can kind of already tell. I love how he splits the field so much. And what that does is that utilizes the speed on the edges, and it creates a mismatch for the defense in a lot of different ways. And they have that quarterback. That's a good offense to run. I'm just saying I liked Alex Gollish. But anyways, continue with your point.
And Alex couldn't be shook. He had that mental awareness, and he was zoned in on beating Alabama with what he knew, which was offense. And, he liked to done it, but praise God he didn't. But anyway, I think that Alabama will be fine more so because of the defense. But if they could somehow switch the guards around and sort of include Ferguson in the rotation, because Ferguson's got that nasty that we need on the line. We need to put him over next to the kid, Caden Proctor, and teach him how to be mean, because this kid's too sweet. He was letting Texas guys just walk right under him, around him, and over him. It was like he was courting some of them. Yeah. So it was really embarrassing, but golly jigger, I'm glad we just lost by 10 points. It could have been a lot worse.
It could have, but it could have went the other way, right? I mean, shoot, Alabama did take the lead, so it could have been. I mean, that
football's a fickle game.
Football is wild. Football, and the crazy thing is like, because every time we watch the NFL, and my son and I, we watch the NFL games on Sunday. You've seen how many games have you seen, Asa? Tons, right? Like hours and hours, and so have I, and so has everybody else. And the thing about football, there's always a play where we have to review and be like, damn, never seen that happen before. And you're just like, all these things. That's why I love football. You're like, you would think that we could revert to all these rules, but there is a play in every game that you've never seen before. Like, I don't know. It looked like a catch to me.
And see, now they can't let us, let the boys tackle like they did, like I did back in the 80s and 90s.
You can't even tackle the quarterback yet. You can't.
We led with the head every time. I mean, if you didn't hit head up, you wasn't hitting nobody. Yep. Bull in the ring was the funnest time of my life. I didn't know who I was or where I was, but I was hitting people and people were hitting me, and that's what football's all about.
Asa, so when I played football, we would walk down these stairs right at my high school. We would walk down these stairs, and right when we would run through the banner, we would start hitting each other. Everybody. It was called, I forget what it was called, but it was just a straight
testosterone.
Yes, exactly. Like right before kickoff, we were just beating the hell out of each other. And then we go line up and then national anthem, and then we start playing. But like, you can't do that anymore. So you can't even hit the quarterback anymore in the NFL. It's sad. Asa.
Well, our sideline,
go ahead.
Our sideline needs to start hitting each other again, and start celebrating, because we used to do that stuff.
Make football. Everybody football physical.
Jumping up and down, holding up the four. When Cochran was there. We got to get some strength program stuff going, because that guy that looks like Ben Grimm from the Fantastic Four. He may look big and imposing, but he ain't doing nothing for Proctor. Yeah. He still looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But anyway, Kyle, thank you for taking my call tonight. And there's a big Roll Tide coming to you from Fultondale, and we certainly all appreciate your hard work, sir, for making this channel possible.
All right. Thank you so much, Asa. I really appreciate the call from Fultondale.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
All right. God bless you too, man. Take it easy. All right. That was
Take care.
Good call from Fultondale to end the show. Hey, Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much, fam, for watching this show. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Tomorrow is Thursday, and there's more coverage to follow right here on Bama Football on YouTube. When you think Alabama football, go to YouTube, type in Bama Football with Kyle Henderson. I appreciate the support more than you guys know, and getting closer to the next football game, which would be an SEC game between Alabama and Ole Miss. Saturday, September 23rd, 2:30 TV at CBS. Alabama favored by 7. You know where to find Coach Saban's press conference after the game. You got the Coach's Show right here on Bama Football on YouTube. If you guys need me, you can find my email if you click About, and I appreciate the support. So until next time, my friends, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.